Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the September 11th, 2024 board meeting for Explore Academy. This is an open meeting, and so we welcome any participants from the public. Please wait for the call for questions, but I would like to call this meeting to order. Any objections? All right, then, could we please begin with roll call? I am Christine Reyes. I am a co-board president, and I'm directing the meeting this evening.
And generally the secretary, and I know it's your first meeting, Ms.
Sorry.
Pahi. So generally the secretary would call for the roll call vote. So I can demonstrate tonight for you if you'd like.
Okay.
Or do you want to go ahead, Ms. Pahi?
Please. Ms. Pahi.
Okay, so co-chair Dr. Reyes.
Here, present.
Co-chair Rayleigh.
Here.
Vice Chair Mohal.
Here.
Secretary Pahi.
Here.
And Member Graham.
Here.
We have a quorum, all of present. Thank you, Chair.
Do we have several staff in attendance? Do I introduce them, or does the secretary do that?
We don't need to be introduced, but we like to note it on the minutes. But you are welcome to introduce it, at least. But Dr. Hall doesn't have her camera on right now. I don't know if she's there. Okay.
Good evening, Dr. Hall.
Hi, good to see everybody.
You're certainly welcome to introduce folks, but that's not as required as the board member.
Okay. I'm trying to find the procedural agenda here.
Yeah, and then we do, I'm just trying to see if we have this on the, make sure we
Pledge
have
of Allegiance.
Yeah, would you like me to put up a flag?
Yes, please.
Will
Please
do.
do so. Thank you.
Yeah. It won't enlarge. There we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which we stand, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, sorry, I'm trying to follow. The second point of the agenda is the public comments regarding the agenda. Do we open? So I'd like to open that up for a comment.
So those of you in attendance, if you would either raise your digital hand or add something in the chat, your name and topic, if you wish to speak on something on the agenda tonight. The chat is open, or raise your digital hand. Chair Reyes, I'm not seeing any public comment.
All right. Thank you very
much.
So I would like to ask for an approval of we should take a minute to look at the minutes from the last meeting of August 14th. If you have done that, please make a motion for the minutes to be approved as is, or if you see any additions or typos that we should discuss, please let me know.
I motion to approve.
Can I get it? Oh, great. Thank you, Representative Graham. We have a motion to approve by Chair Rayleigh and an approval by Mrs. Graham. All right. So
we do need to take a vote for that. So
sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All those in favor of approving the minutes as they are written, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
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 I abstain. I was not present.
Thank you. I believe the minutes are approved.
You will also need to approve the current agenda.
Okay. Have you all had a chance to look at the current agenda?
I will motion to approve.
I just want to say on the top, it says governing board member names, and it still has Jennifer in
Oh.
there, Clara as the chair. That just needs to be updated.
Okay, thank you.
But then I second once that's fixed.
So you have a motion and a second, and then you need to take your vote.
All those in favor of approving the agenda with the noted revisions, please say aye or raise your
Aye.
hand.
Hey,
Aye.
All right, we can move forward with our agenda items. The first item on the agenda is the annual renew of the charter contract.
No, I'm sorry.
No,
I don't mean to interrupt you, but the next item
Please.
is number 5, the Finance Committee reports.
five. Oh, I skipped 6 and sorry. I was
Skipped
already
a
all
lot.
the way down to the agenda. I scrolled down to see the mistypes. Okay, sorry. Thank you, Karen, for interrupting me and keeping me on track.
No
So
worries.
Finance Committee reports, and we have someone from Axiom to give those reports, correct?
Yes, Josh Padilla, I'm promoting him to the panel, and he
Thank
will
you.
present those reports to you. There he comes.
Hello,
Hey,
everybody.
Josh.
Hi,
Thank
Josh.
you for having me.
Thank you for being
Uh,
here.
Well done, Dr. Reyes. You're running it pretty smoothly thus far, smoother than I can. So we'll move right along to my report, and let me share my screen real quick. Can everybody see my window for the check detail? Great.
Yes.
Um, Wonderful. So the check detail for August, we'll go over some of the big items. Some of the larger ticket items that we really wouldn't see any other time. The biggest one that stands out is the $130,000 from Donna Ana County Treasurer. This is property taxes from the past 2 years that the school is catching up on. So it's a rather big hit, unfortunately, to this year's budget. But we had to catch up on those. We should expect something along the lines of half of that this upcoming year as well. We have Explore Learning Systems. This will be a monthly expense that you all will see of around $35,000. And next we have Mission Academy, which was nice enough to give us a discount on some furniture items and some items that they did not need anymore, fixtures and the such, for quite a good discount to help furnish the new building. So that's a pretty big expense, but a lot less than what we would have paid by going outside and going through a vendor. So that's $51,000 there. NIPSIA, we all know the retirement board is essentially NIPSIA for the school. It'll be going through our mineral tree system where it will need to be approved. So we'll see that here as opposed to previous years where it was just a transfer from the bank through ACH. This now just has a little bit more of approval process for us to pay out retirement for teachers. Let's see some other big ticket items. City of Las Cruces. This is a mixture of a couple of invoices of utilities as well as lease insurance for last year and the year prior. So catching up with some old invoices that weren't found, somewhat closer to the property taxes before. See Hertz Furniture System, some more furniture for the Del Rey property. LGH Construction, fencing for the school. And then Sun Patrol of El Paso, around $17,000 here. It's IP access control system for security measures for the school. Those are some of the bigger ticket items this month that went through our AP system. Is there any questions about any other items that anyone has? Before I move on to ACH and payroll. Okay, seeing none. So ACH is just essentially debits that come out straight from our bank account that don't roll through our AP system, such as rent, which we caught up on 2 months here of $36,000 each. Retirement board, education retirement board payments here, and Mosaic payroll fees. So that's the vendor that runs our payroll. They have a fee for every time that they run payroll for us. That's their fees here that get debited straight to our account. And then below we have payroll for the month of August, which totals $338,193.44. All grand totaling $954,798.48 for the month. Any questions about any line items anyone would like to discuss? Okay. On to the bank reconciliation for the month of August. We start off with a balance of $628,449.14. Ended the balance for the month of $644,230.27. We had receipts amounts of $837,000 and disbursements in the amount of $821,220 for the month. You'll see that we had one void of $472 from a past check that was reissued out. And we still have outstanding payments from the end of August of $154,912.35. Our expected general ledger and our general ledger both match, which means that our books all coincide together and we have a clean general ledger at the end of August.
Excuse me, Josh, just for the record, I want to note that Co-Chair Rayleigh has turned off her video because of the internet connectivity. She was having trouble hearing. So I just wanted that noted for the record why her camera's off. Thank you.
Understood. Now, Dr. Reyes, I do believe that we do need a vote on the financials at this point in time.
All right. But I need a motion to accept the financials as Josh has presented them.
I will motion to approve the financials.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
So you had your
Oh.
motion by Vice Chair Mulhall. Who was it? Someone who seconded?
I heard someone say second.
That was Chair Rayleigh here.
I thought so.
Thank you. I didn't
It
catch
just
it.
didn't light up green, so I could hear you, but it didn't note it.
Thank
And
you.
then for some of the Chair Reyes, excuse me, for some of these, we normally do a roll call again, roll call vote. Just so because we're online, sometimes it's easier if all of our names are said and then we vote for some of these more important items.
Okay.
So Ms. Pahi, if you would like to practice that roll call vote as the new secretary, that would be amazing.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, Clara Mulhall,
Yes.
Dr. Reyes,
Yes.
Sarah Raleigh,
Yes.
Gabriella Brown,
Yes.
and Linnell Pahi, yes.
So motion passes. I think that was 5-0.
Thank you, Josh, for your time and your expertise.
Yes, but he
Thank
has
you.
more to do. Don't let him
And
go
yeah,
yet.
we're not
No.
quite
I
done
mean,
yet.
reading
We
those
have,
little lines of text for every transaction. Wow. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So we'll move on to just the forecast for the the month. This is basically just showing what we believe the year will look like as we are continuing on with it. So we had some adjustments. One being the biggest, it's enrollments. We haven't exactly hit our projected enrollment as of yesterday, so this is fairly up to date. We were projected to have a 737 student enrollments. We are currently at 692, which did drop our SEG, and we will lose quite a bit of money from the states in regards to that. So it did drop the amount of revenue in which we had. Payroll, we did see the first August payroll, which is where everybody that is starting for the beginning of the year and hopefully continuing to work with their hits and all of their benefits hit, which is a lot higher than which we presented last month. But still sustainable. We again, I mentioned in the check detail, we did have to pay some old invoices, which hits our budget unfortunately this year and kind of hurts us. But all in all, our ending fund balance of 238,000 is still higher than what we budgeted our ending fund balance to be. So we're still in a really good spot, and we are meeting our bottom covenant number of $215,000. So really, it's around 440,000. That is really the ending fund balance, but we do have to keep around $215,000 just to meet our bond covenant needs. These numbers will fluctuate month to month as enrollment changes, as salaries change, and as more expenses or new grants come in. So this is where we do anticipate to end as of the end of August. Are there any questions about the forecasts? So this is what the cash flow will look like for the remainder of the months of the year. When it comes to when revenue will be coming in, this is all really dependent on when RFRs are going to be submitted and new funds will be coming in if they are received by the school. This will all change in the revenue sources. Expenses are pretty spread out. We get a better indication as the year progresses of what really is left. I know that the school is planning to buy a lot more furniture for the other property, so that might change in the expenses a little bit, but this is what we anticipate the end of the year to look like, around a $459,000 balance in the bank, which is sustainable enough, and it does meet the demands of the bond as well. Any questions regarding the cash flow?
No.
Okay, this is the graph of what that kind of looks like. You'll see that we kind of started pretty low beginning of the year, built ourselves back up just because of the SEG was so high because of our projected enrollments. We'll taper off there around December, in January, and then have a big dip in June. This is because we have double payouts for staff, excluding principals and other administration. So the teachers will get double paid, so they fulfill their contract up until August, but they close off at the end of June, which is the end of the fiscal year. So as far as accomplishments, we're making decisions a lot earlier than we did last year when it comes to enrollments and making forecasts and making adjustments for the budget, which is helping with sustainability a little bit more. We can get ahead of things if we see any expenses on the rise. In the next 30 days, we need to watch enrollments and staffing closely. FY24 audit is going well. We continue to hope that it goes well. Some auditors will be reaching out to the audit committee to get an update on that audit, but so far things are going well. And in future items, we just need to base our budget and manage it based on September numbers thus far. There's still a little bit of time to get more enrollments. So that will change in favor of the school if in fact we do. But at this point, the enrollment in which we have now is what we're going to be basing the whole year off of. And that is all for the presentation. I do have quite a bit of bars to go through. Um, I don't know if you want me to just run through all the bars and kind of vote on each one of them, or vote them all in a one big batch.
Dr. Reyes, just so you know that we can do them all in one big batch. We don't usually have any concerns with these. If any board member does have concern, we could pull that one out as you go before you take the vote. But I would recommend doing all of them in one vote at the end.
Okay, yes, Josh, please continue with the
Sure.
financials. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. There's about 7 of these, so bear with me. The first one is just a carryover decrease of some GOP library funds that we used up at the end of the fiscal year that we had to use just to tidy things up for the beginning of the year. So that's a decrease of $4,522, which leaves the budget with $38. So we are expecting around the same amount of money of $4,500 to go back to the school this upcoming year. But in order to clean things up for the for this for the beginning of FY25, we needed to create a decreased bar just to clean things up. Next, we have an Ed Fellow grant. So this is a grant for around 4 instructional assistants, which includes additional compensation for some teachers that will be looking after them, as well as some supplies that they will be getting on this grant. So the school was awarded $196,400, and it'll be used for those salary expenses, the compensation for both for the Ed Fellows as well as the teachers that will be helping them along the way, and then their supply assets. This one is the kitchen grant that the school received in around $310,000. So this will help the school build a kitchen within the facilities. This is going to go to construction services, a vehicle to help transmit the food to and from, and as well as some fixed assets to help the school buy some big ticket items such as broilers, grills, things of that nature. Next is a bar that some may look like it is familiar because it is. We were approved this last month, but unfortunately PED voided it because we needed to get a little bit more information, and they gave us a time limit which we did not meet. So this is a similar bar in which we approved last month, and it's for 2 buses that need to be replaced this year for the school. Sorry. There we go.
Clarify
yeah.
on that one, isn't it that we needed to add 2 additional buses for the amount of students that we have in the school? Not that we're replacing any buses for anybody, correct?
Sorry, that's true. It's replacing for the buses for another school. Yeah, we're adding 2 buses because the school has grown exponentially, and then we needed to add those 2 buses for them. Both of the buses around $33,000 each just to rent. So that's why it's amount of $66,658 for those 2. Thank you. Thank you, Claire. Next is universal free lunch. We were allotted some more money by the state. It's just based off what they feel that the school is going to be using this year. This will fluctuate depending on the enrollment, obviously, in our 40-day numbers. But right now, at the beginning of the year, they kind of just give a number and throw it out there that we had to create a bar for. And that number is $46,405. Again, this will fluctuate probably towards the end of the year, and we'll have to create another bar depending on how much food is used and how many students are there. So this is an increase of SEG that everybody across the state received. This is based off of our original 727 enrollment, but we had to create a bar because that's just what we submitted our potential numbers to be. So to coincide with PED wants, we have to submit an SEG increase before our 40th day. So the increase was for $156,999.53. And this is carryover funds from Entitlement Idea B, a grant last year, which we didn't spend the full amounts of the funds. So we have $7,790.97 that will carry over into this next year that the school will be able to spend. And the expense item in which we're going to be spending this on is special education teacher, part of their salary or someone's salary. Any questions about the bars?
If there, I have no questions. Josh, anyone else on the panel or guests? If you have a question, please put it in the chat.
I motion to approve bars 1 through 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
I will second.
Okay, I'll take roll call. Clara Mulhall,
Yes.
Dr. Reyes,
Yes.
Clara Riley,
Yes.
Gabriella Brown,
Yes.
Linnell Pappy, yes.
All right. Thank you all. Josh, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hey, Josh, I'm going to send you off into cyberspace.
All right, thank you all.
Oops, it's jumping around. Hold on, I don't want to send the wrong person. I've done that before to Miss Greeley. Hold on.
All right.
Real quick, I'm seeing on the agenda that it's noting that bar 3 says bus replacements, not bus additions.
That's an error, so we're going to change that. There are some replacements coming, and we have some approval letters for that, but that was not what this was for. So thank you for that. Let's make sure the minutes reflect added buses. And that was approved at the last meeting. And just so you all know, bar 4 is missing because it was voided due to a keying error. So that's I put that on there just so you would know why 3 was not listed. And I checked with Josh, 4 was voided. So the next part is the closed session.
Yes.
And so we do have our attorneys here, but we do need to take a vote to go into closed session, if so desired.
Oh, Claren, go ahead.
All right, I'll motion to go into closed session.
I'll second that.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
I was.
Thank you, Gabriella.
Gabriella Graham is our second on that motion. All
You
right.
could take a voice vote for that. I don't think you need a roll call on this one.
All right. Would you, all in favor of moving to our closed session for the remainder of our business meeting, please raise your hand or say aye for the record.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, public, thank you for being at our open meeting. We are now moving to a closed session for the business portion of our discussion. Thank you.
Just to clarify, the business portion that you're going to be doing in closed session is just regarding threatened or pending litigation that you'll be discussing with your attorneys. We will return to open session following that closed session and
Gotcha.
continue with our agenda. So
Thank
what
you,
we'll do,
Karen.
no worries. What we'll do is I did send all of you including your attorneys, an invite to a closed session meeting. It does have a waiting room. I'm going to also put the link in this chat here in our meeting for the panelists here. Please know you'll leave this meeting and go to the closed session, and that would be all board members and Dr. Hull. And I'll be over there waiting for you to make sure we get everybody in there. This meeting will stay running, but I will pause the video, the recording, because there will be nothing happening in the open meeting, and we'll reconvene when we come back. Board members, if you have any issues getting back to this open meeting, please check your email from when you registered. You may have had to type your name and email when you came into this meeting. You should have gotten an email as a result. So if you come back and the link isn't working for you, check your email for that message, and that link will definitely work. Sometimes we have trouble. Sometimes it works fine, and sometimes people have trouble getting back. So any questions for me before we head out to the closed session?
I
I
don't have
do
any
not.
questions.
Thank you, Karen.
Okay, I'll see you at the closed session. Mute and pause the recording here. Please note for the record, due to a technical error on my part, the recording did not resume when we came back from closed session. The board has voted to return to open session with the disclaimer by Co-Chair Rayleigh that the items discussed in closed session were limited to the pending or threatened litigation mentioned in the agenda. And then we have proceeded to start on item number 7A, proposed facility agreement, with Mr. Sparks presenting. So far, I heard that the funding is in the amount of $535,610.96 for equipment for the new campus. I heard terms of 5 years and a 10% interest rate. And I asked Mr. Sparks to fill in anything else I might have missed and to continue. Thank you.
You captured it quite well. So, any questions from the board at this point? All right. So the lease agreement that I received this morning and shared with you all is still in draft form. There lacks some terms such as a date by which the school could prepay the loan and pay that off if you have some other funding source that you'd like to do that with. Additionally, the total cost of issuance amount is not final, and in the lease payment schedule attached to the lease, it shows an interest rate that is inaccurate. It calls it a contract rate, and it says it's 3.1723 per annum. But the PDF that I sent in that same email does provide the actual interest rate that is being paid on these funds, and it shows that the true interest rate is 10.127075%. So you all can authorize the chair and the co-chair to work with me on finalizing this lease agreement and signing the documents. If you all are comfortable with that, I have put in some parameters into the resolution that I sent to Karen at about the time the meeting started, and put a not to exceed amount of $620,000 with a monthly payment not to exceed $17,000 and a lease term not to exceed 5 years. And then the resolution allows for the chair or co-chair to finalize the documents as long as those conditions are met. But if you would like to have final documents and final amounts before you, you certainly can decide not to move on the motion and reconvene at a later date to address approving the lease. The goal is to get the loan agreement finalized and funded by the end of the month. And the other 4 schools all have to pass approval of their documents. So I would ask that you would have a special meeting for the purpose of approving the lease agreement if you're not ready to approve it tonight.
Can you,
And if I-
oh, sorry, I was just gonna ask for clarification. I know that I hear a lease agreement. Does that mean like lease to own? Like, will we own this equipment at the end of those 5-year terms? Like, what does that look like?
Yes, so it is a lease to own agreement. So once you reach the end of the term, which is in June of 2029, so a little less than 5 years at this point, you will own the equipment outright.
Okay,
And-
and then at that point, so sorry, Karen, go ahead.
No, you go.
At that point then as well, I guess, is any of this equipment considered, capitalized that we will need to depreciate on our books? And if so, will it be depreciating while it's leased, or will we be adding that? And you might not know this, Dustin, because that might be an accounting question. That might be something for Katie, as to what that would look like after those, whether it's depreciating while we're leasing, or whether that's going to be something that hits our accounting books at the end of that. Again, that could be a Katie question.
Yeah, that's more of a Katie question. So since you're a government entity, it's not like you're paying taxes on it, so you're not like depreciating the equipment over time as a way to reduce your taxes, since you're not paying income tax anyway. The real key for me and what I've looked at is whether or not this is personal property versus a lease for something that's going to become part of the building. And then, so that's the distinction that I've had to make, is if it's considered personal property, then it's far easier to enter into this lease agreement and have that align with the financing for the current facilities, and whether or not it is permissible without having to get some permissions granted. And since it is all personal property, meaning that it is movable. So even if it's a light fixture, it's not something that's hard to detach from the building, versus if you're spending money on a roof that you cannot then separate from the building at a later date. But the depreciation schedule and how that's going to hit your accounting is really a question for Katie.
I had a question too. So I guess it's along those lines, that if whatever equipment it is, if it breaks or it's not, it's not operating properly during that lease, are we responsible for that to be replaced, or are they going to replace it?
You are. So this lease agreement is not with the manufacturer or the seller of the equipment. It is up to the school to enter into the different agreements to purchase the equipment and to make claims under warranties or any extended warranties. And this agreement is only addressing the funds that are being provided in order to make those purchases. And the school is taking ownership of those things, and then the nonprofit corporation that's providing these funds is taking an interest in that equipment during the term of the lease. But it is up to the school to maintain it, replace it, fix it, whatever needs done during the term of the lease.
Thank you.
Here
Sorry,
is.
this is, I'm so sorry. This is, Dr. Reyes.
So that was what I understood when I read the documents, that it was funds that we are allocating for equipment that we will purchase, but the equipment is not listed. So it's up to the school to decide which equipment this money would be used for. Is that correct?
Yes, so Justin Bayardo has worked, I believe, with Dr. Hall to determine what is needed to be purchased. And so then the funds and the amount of the funds is based on the cost of the equipment that has been determined is needed for the new campus. And
Okay, thank
the
you.
leaseor doesn't really care. They're just providing the
Right.
funds.
Okay, gotcha.
And then
Okay,
there's a general list on page A1. I guess it's A1. Exhibit A. I don't know what number
under
that
the
is.
divergent management or,
Under the divergent management group, yes. The
Okay,
equipment, so some of the things like playground equipment, covered seating, student furniture, fencing, laptops, Chromebooks, signage,
okay,
and wireless points, yeah.
okay, all right. I thought I saw the generic terms equipment and then there was an amendment, okay, all right. That's what I thought I read. Okay, thank you, Dr. Hall.
Excellent, yep.
I just wanted to remind the board that this was a way to get some large amount of capital or funding, I should say, to expand the school. And it's thanks to Mr. Sparks and Mr. Bayardo for working out this little bit of magic. I also wanted to point out that it's still, as you said, June of 2029, but if other funding, for example, facility refinance or something like that happens, you can pay it off earlier. Is that correct, Mr. Sparks? Is that what I heard?
So that's something that is missing from this draft document. There's
Okay.
no date specified on there as to whether or not you could pay this off early.
I
So
see.
clearly you could pay all of the interest total, and so the amount is listed on Exhibit B, which is B1, or if you're just scrolling through where it would say is page 20, and it gives an outstanding balance amount. And so that would be the total amount borrowed plus the total interest that would be paid over the life of the agreement. And so if you were to pay it off early, you would be paying the interest that would be paid throughout the life of the lease. So, if you paid it now, you would be paying almost $200,000 more than the amount that you're actually borrowing.
And this is where the contract rate is incorrect. This is the document you're
Yes.
referring to,
Yep.
yes?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that
Okay.
outstanding balance then, decreases with each payment.
Payment.
And so if you, at any point, you could pay that amount.
Sure.
There's a contemplated within the document, but then not actually defined yet at this point, an opportunity to pay early, but there's nothing in here that actually specifies a discount. And so, be it that I just got it this morning, haven't had an opportunity to work on getting that addressed.
So I think, go ahead, Claire.
I was just gonna say, can you give us some more information about the divergent management group? Just instead of just that they're doing this, a little bit about them.
Divergent Management Group was formed by Justin Bayardo for the purpose of borrowing this money. So it's a new entity that's been created to borrow funds on behalf in order to then provide those funds to these 5 schools that it shows there in the PDF. You can see the different amounts that are being borrowed by each of those schools, actually in that Excel spreadsheet as well. And so it is the relationship that the schools have with Explore Learning Systems, and that is really then the relationship between Explore Learning Systems and this bank that is creating the opportunity to borrow these funds. Otherwise, there wouldn't really be this interest in loaning, $500,000 to, an individual school, but the bank is interested in the whole package, and so Divergent is really just facilitating that.
So I think the ask before you, board members, is either approve the resolution as proposed. I did add it at the last minute on the agenda. I can bring it up if you'd like, which basically outlines the parameters Mr. Sparks mentioned and offers you the opportunity to designate your chair or co-chairs to finalize it with Mr. Sparks, so that we don't have a special meeting in order to get this done timely. You have done that sort of thing before in designating it to your chair. Of course, if the chair is ever uncomfortable, they could still ask for a special meeting to bring it back to you all. Also, the other option would be to not approve that resolution tonight. And we have a special meeting when Mr. Sparks is ready with the finalized documents. But that would have to be done fairly quickly, and we would need a quorum in order to get this processed quickly and by the end of the month. So those are basically, I think, the two options, the resolution designating the chairs or co-chairs or a person to work with Mr. Sparks to finalize it, or to decide to wait till you get the final documents and have a special meeting.
So Dustin, I'm always the bad guy, I guess. Maybe that's my new personality for this board. But I guess my biggest thing is knowing that we have a service contract with Explore Learning Systems, which is also Justin Bayardo. Is this a conflict of interest by also going into this lease for a loan for this equipment with the same person, even if it's a different entity?
The agreement does not make it dependent on a continued relationship with Explore Learning Systems. And so, yeah, there's a relationship between Justin Bayardo and Explore Learning Systems and this entity, but you could decide you're not going to associate with Explore Learning Systems, and it doesn't accelerate the payments on your lease or put you in violation of the lease. So sort of, but it doesn't put the school, in a situation where you're in a difficult situation if you want to end one relationship versus the other. They're not contingent on each other.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the board at this point? So as Ms. Warner stated, there are, several motions on the table potentially. So whether we motion to approve this pending the finalized version, or we could designate the co-chairs to move forward with discussions and resolution in order to come to a special meeting. So I guess those are really the only two, or those are the only two that would make it quick, but those are definitely not the only two motions that a board member could do. So do we have any thoughts or motions that y'all are thinking of?
Do you guys have time to review that before you make a decision? As co-chairs?
I've looked at it briefly. I have not. I think Christine's probably looked at it more often. Dr. Reyes, do you have any other comments on that?
No, my concern was what Dustin addressed about the set, what was that? The set percent or timeline that he wanted adjusted in the contract. But I just read it today, so when he was going through it, I was trying to find each piece. I trust that Dr. Hull knows the needs of the school better than I do, and that Dustin knows the financial situation of the school. So, yeah, I'm kind of, I will do whatever the board would like to do. If you'd like us to see the updated contract before we sign or agree to anything and give us a few days to read it, I'm okay with that too, so that we could really concentrate on what it says.
So I just would like to propose that one possible motion would be to designate Dr. Hall, Mr. Sparks, and the co-chairs to review and finalize it. And how you arrange to do that would be dependent on when Mr. Sparks has it ready and how much time we have. But you could meet about it, that group, or you could read it and discuss it with Mr. Sparks and reach an agreement to get it signed. That would be one way to accommodate what Chair Reyes just
Right.
said, while also allowing a designation. Alternatively, you could wait until it's all ready and everyone has to come together at a meeting, or at least a quorum of you, to review and discuss and approve. It's either an approval with a designee or designees, or you want to all come back to a meeting and have a chance to discuss and approve.
And I'd like to clarify that I do not know the financial needs of the school. So I'm looking out for the legal interests of the school and
Right.
protecting
Okay.
the financial interests from that aspect. But whether or not you can afford to make these payments, I'm not familiar with.
And to that end, if you wanted to have your school business official involved, Dr. Hull certainly could consult with him, or so could the chairs. I think what I've heard before is he did discuss this, like the school, obviously, you all discussed this at a prior meeting, but the school needs this equipment to open the second building. And if you don't have it funded this way, where is the money coming from? So you're either going to have to come up with all this money up front, or you're going to have a way to pay it off over 5 years and actually be able to afford to do so. And I'm only speaking from prior meetings and what was discussed.
All right, and that's one of the things is that like the playground equipment, covered seating, these are things that are needed now at Tell Shore. And what it would do is if we didn't have this funding, it would just deplete our operational funds. And so, and maybe not, you saw the projections for this year because our enrollment's down a little bit, maybe not make some of these things possible. So the playground equipment and the fencing, these are necessary things that we know that families have asked us for, and of course, safety, but the playground equipment is really necessary for an elementary school. And then additional Chromebooks and laptops for students, well, Chromebooks for the students that need them. We've had a large number of students asking for assistance, so they don't purchase their own Chromebook because they're not able to, and we provide that for them, a loaner. And signage, I mean, that's huge as far as making our school known. There's a variety of areas that there's just no signs there. So all of those things, which could also help our enrollment. So yeah, this would be a great help because this would all have to come out as one lump sum instead of paying over time. So thanks for your consideration on that.
Any other questions, discussion by the board? Sorry, can't see you.
Okay, do we have a motion to, I I mean, it would really be a motion to table or a motion to designate specific people to move forward to finalize. And approval pending the designee's finalization. Does that make sense?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So if you want to designate, I do have a detailed resolution that Ms. Warner can put up on the screen that would then clarify exactly what it is you're approving. If you just want to table and come back when things are finalized, you don't need a resolution. You would, just decide not to move forward.
As an option, this is the resolution. It is linked on your agenda, as I said, but it basically outlines the situation. And Mac caps off the, not to exceed an amount, not to exceed a monthly payment, not to exceed 5 years, as Mr. Sparks already said. In this case, it says president and vice president. We could change that to whomever you designate. I assume that's what that is there. To finalize the draft lease, it could be Dr. Hall and the coach, whatever you wanted there. And then
Ms. Warner,
oh,
I think
sorry.
must have sent you the resolution from Albuquerque
that's
because it says explore
Albuquerque's.
Albuquerque.
Oops, or I made it, or I linked the wrong one, perhaps.
Also, I'm actually not seeing a link to it unless it's somewhere
Yeah.
lower.
I see the
in
draft
it.
lease, the payment schedule, and the total funds, but I don't see a resolution link.
Oh, so maybe I put it in
Unless
the wrong place.
maybe
Maybe I just opened the wrong meeting. Hold on. That was my bad. That was the resolution from the last meeting. So let me fix that. Sorry. Let me just open the resolution. I'll get it later. My apologies. Okay, governance. Las Cruces. Hold on. It must be this one. Okay. Sorry, my bad. But I think I'm now sharing the right one, and I will add it on the agenda for your future reference, particularly if this is the way you go. But basically, very similar, but I had the wrong one. Your amounts are here. Oh, okay, so authorized officer defined below. Here's where we would put who you will designate. Just Mr. Sparks, if you want to go over this one now that I have the correct one, point out anything they may need to pay attention to, or if anyone has questions.
Yeah, so like really the biggest thing is that in 1A is that you have your conditions set so that if for some reason the final documents didn't fit within those conditions, then you would have to come back to the full board in order to get that approval. But if those conditions are met, then the chair could go ahead and finalize that. And we would want a change within here to say co-chairs, as I apologize, I just looked at the website for the titles and did chair and vice chair as opposed to co-chairs.
That's again my fault because they had elections at the last meeting, and thank you for pointing out that I have not updated the.
Sorry.
Thank you.
It's new. All of us are new to the co-chair thing too, so.
But you could designate what you want, who you're appointing here by your motion as the authorized officers.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then
I thought, last night I screwed it up with Albuquerque and put president and vice president, and it was, chair and vice chair. And so I thought I was improving over last night, just to find out I have it wrong once again. So,
You probably would have had it right if I'd not been in Scotland when they met last time. So
well, that sounds awesome. So glad you did that.
elections were last meeting, so we're not too far behind. Thank you. I will fix that. Anyway, so this is one option, the resolution. If you have any questions, we can go over it, or if you want to move this way or the other way, it's completely up to the board.
If you're not ready, you just don't vote. You just move on, and
Yeah.
we'll let you know when the documents are ready.
I would like to motion, I guess for Dr. Hall and the co-chairs and along with Dustin Sparks to finalize this, as their schedule allows with the final draft.
Who's that to designate the co-chairs?
Yes.
Well, just a reminder, y'all, that this would be to approve this, barring that resolution is to approve these with those stipulations and giving the authority to the co-chairs, Dustin and Dr. Hull, to make the final decision. So it would not come back to the board at that point in time, just to clarify.
Is that your motion? Member
Yes.
yeah, okay. Is there a second, or is there
Do we
no
do
second?
we have
I don't hear a second.
second or a modification? Or a different motion?
I will second that if with the designees and stuff to assist Dr. Hall.
In that case,
are you approving the motion with the change that it includes co-chairs instead of chair and vice chair, and then adding Dr. Hall into that process? Is that what the motion is?
yes, that's my understanding. Member Pahi?
Great.
Yes. I'm sorry, Secretary Pahi. So I think you should do a roll call vote then, or unless there's more discussion.
Okay, if no further discussion, I'll take roll call. Clara Mulhall,
Yay.
Dr. Reyes,
Yay.
Clara Riley,
Sorry, this sucks being on my phone. Yes.
Gabriella Brown,
Yes.
Linnell Packey, yes.
So motion passes 5-0. Mr. Sparks, do you want me to just edit that document and then get it signed and sent back to you?
Sounds great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right.
Then
Y'all have a
I
great
think-
evening.
Thank
So
you,
I will
Dustin.
send-
Thank you.
I will send you back in cyberspace, Mr. Sparks. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right. Are we at Governing Council B or 7B?
I believe, I'm sorry, I was going to work on that other thing for, yes, we are at
Oh,
item B. If I may, this
Okay.
was on the last agenda, but we didn't get a vote. So I think at least what I observed on the recording was that Chair Rayleigh mentioned that Gabriella Graham was going to serve on the audit committee, but I do need a vote if she's filling the vacant spot left by Jennifer Lichtenfels. So if that's still the case, we need a vote and approval to designate her to the audit committee.
I'll motion for Gabby to be the vacant governing council member on the audit committee.
I will
I
second
will
that.
second. Oh, there you go. I'm sorry, I cannot see you all, but do we need a roll call for this or just a consensus?
I think a voice vote is fine for this one. But if you prefer, it's actually better practice to do roll call votes when
Yeah,
you're meeting online.
please.
So that's up to the chair, how you want to proceed on that. But I'm always, I think if you're going to defer to roll call.
Yeah. Secretary Pahi, would you please have a roll call vote on this confirmation, please?
Absolutely. Clara Mohall,
Yay.
Dr. Reyes,
Yay.
Clara Riley,
Yes.
Gabriella Graham,
Yes.
Linnell Pahi, yes.
Thank you, Gabby, for serving on this important committee. We appreciate your willingness to do so. All right, should we can move on to C, the annual review of the charter contract.
And as you may recall, there is an annual review expected by the board members to review your contract and remind yourselves of what the contract and the performance review are for the school, as well as the mission goals. It was shared on your agenda in August. I just stand for any questions, should there be any. I wanted to give an opportunity for those. Of course, if you don't have questions tonight and have questions later, you're always welcome to ask me, but just wanted to be sure to follow up with that in case there were questions.
So these reviews are for the board, right? The contract is for the board and the performance review and accountability is for the board, not for the school.
For this, it is for the school, but the board and the school are one and the same, meaning that the contract you have with the Public Education Commission is between the board and the Public Education Commission. But you have one employee, you hire your head administrator, who then hires everyone else. So you have oversight, and as you know, fiduciary duties and policy-making duties and those sorts of things. But that review is how the school will be evaluated. And there are certain things in the contract that are outlined there. So it's just to make sure that board members are aware of the contract and of the performance framework, as well as head administrators for that matter. I've worked with many schools that were like, what, our charter contract? I don't know what that is. So what your mission is, what your performance goals are. It's very important that you all have reviewed those. If you haven't already, please make sure you do. And it'll be coming up every single year because board members change, or you might actually after 2026, the performance review will change because they have a new framework. But you're still on the older one that was part of the contract when it was signed in 2021. So again, Dr. Reyes, as a new board member, we will be meeting as part of your onboarding to further go over this. But as I said, the Charter Schools Division asks that this be listed on an agenda every year, and that board members review it.
Oh, thank you, Karen. I appreciate your knowledge and historical data that you can provide.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so we don't have to do anything with this. It's just on our agenda to remind us about our responsibilities and duties. Okay.
Yes, and give the board an opportunity to ask questions should there be any.
Oh, yes. All right, board, any questions about your responsibilities and duties?
Always.
That was a broader question. That was a broader question than I actually intended for, but I'm happy to answer any of those questions. Really, and I'm specifically looking for in this item, any questions about your contract with the PEC and or the performance review and mission goals. And you know that I will share the reports with you as they come in and the mission goal results as we have them. So I'm sure those of you been on the board for a while have seen some of this before, but again, happy to answer any questions anyone might have. Dr. Reyes, nobody's jumping up to ask questions, so I think you could move on to D, which is just going to be listed here until we actually get a head administrator evaluation set up. because I really think Dr. Hull needs to have an evaluation established before we get too far into the year. But I know she's also working on a strategic plan. So this is going to be appearing on your agenda till we get there. But it's
Okay.
basically that the typical way that the board will evaluate the administrators based on a strategic plan and some key objectives. And from there, a discussion with the head administrator, generally with the chair, or in this case, co-chairs, with Dr. Hull as to what the goals are for her as head administrator, so that at the end of the year, you can evaluate her against that. But right now, we don't have a outlined evaluation for her. Dr. Hull.
So I can give you an update on our strategic plan. So we had our first, well, I put the call out to all staff for members that want to be on our leadership team to create our strategic plan. And so we met for the first time. It was, let's see, last Friday. Yeah. Oh, not last Thursday, because we had a fundraiser at Peter Piper Pizza. So we all went there and we met there. And that was awesome because it was a brainstorming session where I just had a piece of paper and we kind of just wrote down some different categories. We felt like our goals, because there's so many different categories you can have in a strategic plan. And of course, you need some of them like financial goals and obviously, you know, instructional goals. But there was great input from this group. We had about, I don't know, 12 people maybe there. And so we'll have another meeting on Monday, next Monday. So this team has been awesome because it's going to include elementary and then the secondary. And then what's going to happen is once we come together to make our strategic goals and our categories, then we're going to break off and Mr. Gomez will take his team and I'll take the secondary team and they'll create their level, their campus specific goals for say, for example, for instruction, it's going to look different at the secondary versus the elementary. So they'll come up with their elementary goal. We'll come up with our secondary goal for, say, for example, language arts instruction. And then the whole thing will become our strategic plan. And also including our core values, we started a discussion about that. So it was really exciting to just actually just have a chance to just brainstorm and think about what it looks like. And so I'm sure we're going to have more join us next Monday. And I really want to have a lot of people be a part of that. And I also attended the PTO and talked a little bit about how we're doing this process. So we're at the beginning stages, but I feel like it's going to happen fast because we really, like Ms. Warner said, we want to have our strategic plan in place soon, because we're going to our new building and also because this is the first year of our new elementary, you know, campus. And so it's really very exciting to have so many teachers and staff involved. We had EAs on there, we had teachers, we had staff members. So it does, everyone's welcome to be a part of this because we want everyone's input. So that's exciting. That's where we're at with that.
All right. Thank you. In the enrollment policy revision, the only revision I saw was the 10-day period was marked out, or is that, am I looking at the wrong document?
You're absolutely correct. I'm going to share my screen with the others here. Hopefully you've all had a chance to review it before the meeting because I posted this previously, but are you seeing where it says admission and some blue text?
I am, yes.
Okay, so the board, you're all seeing that? Okay, so there's been a requested change to the enrollment policy. You know, when students apply and get accepted through the lottery, they then have typically 10 days to complete the registration process. And that's great in the spring and over the summer. But once school year starts, we're running into a dilemma of having to wait those 10 days before we can move down the list to the next student. And usually by the time school starts, those students that are enrolled somewhere are either going to make a quick switch or they're not. It's not like they need it's been suggested that they don't need the 10 days, but rather that we change this to say that during the school year, they have to complete the process within 5 days. That way, if they're not going to do it, we give them the 5 days, they don't do it, we can move on to the wait list and go down the wait list a little bit quicker than we do before school starts. So that was a suggestion from our enrollment and marketing folks. And I think it makes perfect sense. And then, of course, if we do that, you have to change the 10-day time span to the allotted time span because it's either 10 or 5. And 5 would be, as I said, once school starts.
Right. Okay.
So the ask is that we modify it to what's the only change in here is what's in blue, and staff recommendation is to approve this revision.
I motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second. Yes. Is there any discussion? Oh, wait, we already did that. So approval,
Vote.
can we, since I can't see you, can we get a roll call approval, please?
I'm sorry, who seconded that motion?
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Byron Mulhall.
All right, thank you. Okay. Motion to approve, and we'll do a roll call. Karen Mulhall,
Yes.
Dr. Reyes,
Yes.
Clara Riley,
Yes.
Gabriella Graham,
Yes.
Linnell Stocking, yes.
And while we're on policies, even though it's not specifically then on here, I just want to acknowledge that I know that co-chair has asked for us to review handbooks and policies, particularly around employment, and mentioned it at the last meeting. I'm not ignoring that. We are working on that. The lawyers have been busy with some other things, so I didn't want to inundate them and your bills right now. But we are working on those, and we'll get those to you for final approval as soon as possible.
Okay. Thank you. So Dr. Hull, do you have updates and administrative staff reports for us?
I do. I'm just gonna keep it nice and short, but I do have just one little graphic here. So I can show you this. All right. So hopefully it'll work. Oh, look at that. Hopefully you guys see this. Do you see
We do.
it? Okay,
We do.
good. All right, excellent. So just some things on the facilities and the construction. Really quick, the fire inspection of the Delray campus. Yeah, I should have written Delray, but that's kind of like, I guess, on the top of my mind right now. But it did pass yesterday, so that's awesome and exciting. Today was the electrical inspection, and the generator had a faulty part, and the replacement part was faulty. So they are working on the repair right now. And it looks like so far, I'll know more tomorrow. Each day I know a little bit more, but the goal is next Thursday, September 19th, to start at Delray. So Monday is our midterms and our core exams. And then Tuesday and Wednesday are term break days. That would be our move-in time, and setting up movers and things like that. And then the first day would be Thursday. We don't have a total green light. It's on like yellow turning green right now, just because of the generator. We have to have that generator fixed because they sent a faulty part. I don't know, it had a faulty part, then they sent one, and then it was still faulty. So they're working on that. But it's super exciting, and kids are very excited. Like I had a student say to me today as I walked by, he goes, "Dr. Ho, guess what?" And I go, "What?" And he said, "We're almost to Delray." And I go, "I know, I know." It's very exciting. And so kids are talking about it. It just, it's just on edge. Just we want to get in there and get settled. And that's, it's going to be another first day of school, but that's all right. So that's that. And so that's the latest update I have on that. Okay, staffing. For staffing, this is K through 11. We still need an English language arts teacher from middle school. So we were fully staffed there, and it just wasn't a right fit for the person. So, we get it. And so they backed out of the position. And so, I gotta just give a shout out to our amazing educational assistants slash substitute teachers who are jumping in, and also to Miss Black, who is our amazing instructional coach, who has really guided them, and some of them are ed fellows that are helping us out by learning, and they're teaming up and working together, which is exciting. But it's about, they went and observed. Our ed fellows are working hard, and they're working to become teachers, but they're brand new at this, and so they're observing other teachers and really learning a lot. And so we're trying our best with that and supporting them. But we have some leads, but not too many. And so if you know anybody that wants to teach language arts, tell them to apply. And so we're looking for a 6th grade, 7th grade, middle school language arts teacher. Okay, which I think is pretty good, because a lot of places they need many more than that. Student enrollment update. I know that you had an update earlier from Josh. Yes, currently 637. The goal is 734. It's because of the 10-day situation and also I'm so glad that you guys approved the enrollment update, because the sooner we want people to come to our school, and the sooner we know whether they're coming or not and decide and get your paperwork done, then we can open the door for someone else if they decide not to. So everyone needs to find their spot, and the faster we can do that, the better, so that kids don't miss out on the things that we've already been doing. So, we're sending out more notices. We're still enrolling. Yes, so we're reaching out to some of the applications that have expired as well, to see if they are interested, especially now that we're going to a new building. I think that's going to be really exciting for some. And so we're really looking at high school, especially because we have room there. Not as much room at the lower grades, but room at the high school. We have room pretty much in most grades, but the drop came. It was a lot of 9th graders. So I don't know what that's about. And as we continue on and level off, it's going to be those ebbs and flows, but we're going to get them to really want to stay at Explore Academy. And so we're offering a lot of things that in the future will grow, CTE update. This is really exciting. So we have the cybersecurity teacher, and he's also a math teacher. And he was a Skills USA advisor, which Skills USA is like a series of competitions in different types of technical / media / public speaking, things like that. It's just one of many competitions that we want to be a part of this year. And so we also have another teacher that's in the math department he's skilled at media. And so that's pretty exciting on being a part of that competition. That's way in April. So the kids have to work their way up to it. But yeah, that's pretty exciting. And also looking at other CTSOs as well. And so we're continuing on with that. He just had that background, so he brought that to Explore, which I think is really great. But yes, we will get involved in more as well. And then communication update. If you haven't seen it, and I don't think I've sent it specifically to the board, but I do a weekly live broadcast, and I broadcast it out to Facebook and YouTube, because some people don't use social media, which I totally get. But it's on Monday nights at 7 o'clock. And it's a way for parents to get an update. Yes, I do the newsletters as well, but this is a way that I can interact. And the only time I don't do it is when there is a PTO meeting, because I'm in person at the PTO meeting, so they can come there if they want to chat. And you are all welcome to join us on that and listen. And I record, if I can't do it for whatever reason, or if there's a holiday or something, I can always record one. But it's something new that I've done it before at other schools, and it really helps engage parents and get our information out there, so we can also get more students to come and see what we're about, because a lot of kids just don't know about us. And so we're really working hard to get that out there, to get what we're doing out there, our mission, our vision. That's why the strategic plan is so important. Our core values, what do we want to be about at Explore Academy Las Cruces? So that's the update. And so I hope to update you next time from Del Rey. Thank you, guys.
I have a
Thank you,
couple
Dr. Hall.
questions.
Yeah.
Have you had some ELA teachers apply?
We have, it's interesting because sometimes they apply and they set up an interview and don't come. So it's kind of interesting that, but we also have hired a lot of them too. And so we haven't had any new applications in the last month or so. So yeah, they're hard to come by, I guess.
Sorry, I have another job.
There you go. There you go.
That's my favorite group, middle school ELA.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it seems like I
Yeah.
could get a lot of elementary humanities ELA, but not middle school.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a different breed.
They are.
I'll see
Dr.
if I don't
Reyes,
know.
Dr. Reyes cannot teach because then she'd have to resign from the board, and we
That's
just
true.
got her here.
But she has connections. Maybe she knows somebody that wants to be a part of our staff.
I will reach out to the students that I mentor through Educators Rising and some of the ones that are in the education preparation program and my colleagues. I will ask my colleagues. NMSU, by the way, is having trouble hiring an ELA specialist too. So to teach in the methods at the university level. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, us English teachers used to be a dime a dozen. Now we're not.
Nope, now you're not. So.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Hall. We wish you all the best with the move and are excited for the growth of all of the facilities and things that you're doing there.
Thank you. I can't wait till you guys come and see it. It's beautiful.
Are there
and come to Tell Shore, because Tell Shore is beautiful too. We have a brand new paint job. Everything's looking amazing.
I was going to joke about when you open Del Rey, the traffic flow and the public will be happy too.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, sorry, Tell Shore. But everyone's been awesome. We got it down to a science now. We get the kids in, get them out. It's like 30 minutes. We're in and we're out.
Yeah, it's great. Are there any other questions for Dr. Hall before
I have one more thing I want to bring up real
on?
quick, and if this needs to be put on a future agenda, we can. But I was talking to someone last month who goes around and does a lot of like security, stuff at charter schools and, around the state. And he mentioned that the one thing he runs into the most is that there's not enough staff trained in CPR. And so I was just wondering if we have an idea of how many staff is trained in CPR, if there's a way we could provide CPR training to maybe the entire staff, teachers, because that's kind of scary to hear from him that like some of the schools with only 2 people.
So
and
I'm going
there's
to
hundreds of students.
Simon, I think this is a worthwhile subject, but it's not listed on the agenda.
Yep,
so
that's
I
fine.
think we should put it on the agenda for discussion for next month.
Perfect.
Because there are costs associated with each person being certified.
Right.
We can bring to you a list by next month of who is certified. I know that our nurse certainly is, but let's
hope
put
so.
this, I'll make a note to put CPR conversation on the meeting
Sounds good.
next month's agenda. And if you could be prepared to speak to that, and we'll get some data for you in the meantime.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Good question.
I don't see anyone else ready with questions, so I'm going to talk about the next item, if that's okay, Chair Reyes.
Yes, please.
So in light of all the litigation that's been going on in the world, not just your school, it's been raised that one of the issues could be that communications that occur between board members on their school business, if you're doing it in your personal email, it does open up your personal email to be hipperable or subpoenaed in some way. And so in order to avoid that, the IT director has created emails for all the board members at all the Explore Academy schools that I would recommend strongly that you start using and use that for any business. Of course, if you want to forward things to your personal email so that you get noticed, that's fine, but you should be doing all your, it still would be in that email box of Explore Academy, just like you wouldn't do your personal email and your work email necessarily mixed together. Same with your work as a volunteer for the board. So he has created email addresses for each of you. It's your first name dot your last name dot lcsboard@explore.academy. I'll be sending out usernames, passwords, and instructions. They are Google-based accounts, so you would just go to mail.google.com, or if you already have a Google account, add it to your Google as another account. However you want to do it, I can always help you if you need it. But I will send out instructions, usernames, and passwords, and ask that you start getting that set up. And I will start using that once you're set up. In the interim, I'll do both those emails and the ones I've been using for meeting invitations and things like that. But the idea is to switch all official communication for the board business to your Explore Academy email. And as I said, even if you forward it to a personal email that you're checking more often, that's fine, but respond or do any correspondence from your Explore Academy that'll contain it and not expose any of your personal or other work emails to any potential discovery or IPRA. Questions on that?
Will this be updated with the PED too?
Yes.
Cool. Right
Not
after
yet.
I made a brand new email just for all this.
You were smart. You're smart to do that.
To resign now because of the email.
You were smart to do that.
I have a board email. It's like any board I'm on. That's the email that I use too. So
smart, but not everybody's done that or able to do that. And this will just make it nice and clean. And should we have to have any subpoenas or IPRAs, it won't be as difficult for any of us. Wait.
All right.
And one more point, Claren, to your question, I'm not going to give it to PED until I'm sure everybody is actually got it set up and is in it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Is there any further discussion about emails or other items in item 8? Okay, hearing none. Do we go through each one of these? Like item 9 is board comments?
Yes, ma'am. If there are any board comments, for example, Claren's ask about CPR could have been in there as an example. But of course, we still would table it and discuss it for the next meeting. So you can bring up items you want for other meetings or announcements or comments. This would not be action items, but generally, this board doesn't have a lot of comments they wish to make at this point in the meeting, but you are certainly, it's there in case.
So
I think we've
I'll just put the
interjected
CPR thing
quite a
here.
few. Yes, please, thank you. That's an excellent thing to bring up.
I do have one more thing. I did get a piece of mail for you guys. I am 99% confident it is junk. Are you okay if I open it before I drive it all the way out to explore?
Is it addressed to the school or the board?
It's Justin, Explore Academy, Las Cruces. Since my address used to be the address until the school was done.
Can you tell who the sender is?
No, I'm again, there's like one of those fake credit cards in it.
Okay. Dr. Hull, how would you like to, is it okay for her to open this? I would suggest, Claren, that you go ahead and open it, and if it's, no matter what it is, if you would scan it and send it to Dr. Hull and I.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Even if it's junk?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can do that.
thanks.
Yep.
All right. Are there any further comments by the board or action items they would like to add to the next meeting? Okay, hearing none, we move on to public comment. Do we still have anybody in the open meeting?
We do indeed still have some members in attendance, so I'm going to open up the chat. for anyone to sign up with a comment, or they could raise their digital hand if they wish to make a public comment about anything that was not on the agenda. Again, in the chat or raise digital hand. Dr. Reyes, I'm not seeing any.
All right, thank you very much. Do we need a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Technically you don't, but we usually do take one.
Okay. I would like someone to make an motion that we adjourn the meeting until October 9th at 6 p.m. As scheduled as our next board meeting.
I will motion to finish our meeting.
I will second that.
Thank you. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
1, 2, 3. I
Aye.
heard 3, 4, and I do as well. Thank you all for your participation in this board meeting. As the co-chair, I deem it closed and wish you all a good night.
Awesome, thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Thank you.
guys.